shit, yeah, they bread stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I could see through the facade like an...
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Matty Fight Talk. So UFC 276 just went down July 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena, where we got to witness Israel, the last stylebender, Adesayna, defend his belt against Jared Cannonier for the middleweight championship. And he successfully did so, winning via 5-round decision. It was a convincing win. He won 10-9 every single round. Cannonier just didn't have enough to take out Adesayna. I mean, we all knew he was a dangerous, heavy-handed striker. But honestly, after watching the fight, he didn't really mix it up. He kind of just was head-hunting a little bit. He was very reserved. It looked like he engaged in the clinch heavily, but did absolutely no damage. I mean, you got to give it to Israel Adesayna. He is really a phenomenal champion. He knows how to win. He makes these guys fight. He's a counter striker. He's very accurate, and he lands leg kicks. He lands his jabs and straights, and he keeps these guys on the outside. His past fights, I guess, has made it so these guys don't even want to engage with him. It looked like Cannonier didn't want to get in and hang out with him too much, but he was right in that middle range where Adesayna could just pick him apart and land his shots. And speaking of landing shots, Israel Adesayna landed 163 total strikes out of 277. For 59% of those strikes were landed. Whereas Jared Cannonier, he landed 141 out of 217, landing 65% of his shots. Not too bad. A lot closer in that category than people thought probably. And significant strikes, 116 of 230, 50% of them landing for Adesayna. And Cannonier, 90 significant strikes out of 157, 57% of those landing. Pretty even as far as that goes. I mean, significant strikes, Israel definitely had a lot more. We go to the takedowns. Cannonier was 0 of 4. Izzy obviously doesn't even go for takedowns. He likes to stand and bang with these dudes. Cannonier, it didn't seem like he was trying too hard for the takedown. I think he was trying to close the gap, make it a dirty fight. But Izzy's defense is so good. His takedown defense, his Muay Thai, his clinch fighting defense. This guy's fucking awesome when it comes to defending himself. So we go into the strikes by target. Izzy Adesayna, 52% to the head. Cannonier had 40% to the head, 22% to the body for Izzy, 36% to the body for Cannonier. And then the leg strikes were about equal. But it seemed like Adesanyna's leg kicks were a lot more lethal than Cannonier's. Cannonier was just a step behind. You could just see it in the fight. He looked like, you could just tell that Izzy was in better cardio shape. He brought more to the table, and he knew how to use his range well. In the beginning of the fight, I think the first and second round, Cannonier was right in the middle realm. You know what I mean? Like, he was balanced. He was right where Izzy could just tag him perfectly every time. He wasn't in and out. He wasn't throwing combinations. He was kind of throwing like 2 punches at a time. It just didn't work out for him. Now, as a fight fan paying for this fight, I was not fully entertained by this. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. I really don't care, dude. I'm paying money to be entertained. I'm watching a championship fight, the greatest fighter of all time. And I believe that. I think Izzy really is one of the most dominant champions. Now, some people are telling me, you know, you can't blame the champion. The contender needs to take the belt. That's true. But at the same time, it's like nobody really wants to watch you fight when it's boring like that. I mean, this guy right here, GSP, got a bunch of shit for being boring when he would just ground and pound and take guys to the ground and dominate the fuck out of them. Khabib gets a lot of shit for being a boring fighter. I think all of these guys are entertaining. But this fight in particular, I'm like, to me, it's dangerous territory for Izzy. He knows that he's going to be facing a dangerous striker in his next fight, who is going to be Alex Pereira, who knocked out Sean Strickland on the same fight card. These guys have met before in kickboxing. They've had 2 kickboxing matches. And Izzy likes to tell people, did you do the research? Did you watch the fights? Yes, we did. I did watch the fights. I watched both of them multiple times. The first kickboxing match, it went to decision where Pereira won. And I think he rightfully won. He won both. He won 2 of 3 rounds. I think it was a 3-round fight. And to me, Pereira landed the heavier strikes. Izzy definitely won the 3rd round. If you guys pull it up, you guys can find it on YouTube. But Pereira, he's a nasty striker, and he lands when he touches Adesayna. The second time they fought in a kickboxing match, he knocked Izzy the fuck out. KO, unconscious, had Izzy on the ground, rolling around, went in his face, was talking shit. Pereira is a dangerous, bad matchup for Izzy. Knowing that, you think you would want to work on being aggressive. I guess he's banking on his defense. I don't know what to say. I was not impressed with this win. The crowd was completely silent for 25 minutes. They even booed at one point. Now, maybe they were booing Cannonier because he wanted to engage in the clinch. There's nothing that Cannonier could do. But as far as Adesanya, you're walking out with the urn. It says Jared. You're doing the Undertaker thing. I'm going to take this man's life. I'm going to take his soul. That is not a soul-taking thing. What happened to the Izzy that we saw against Paulo Costa? What happened to the Izzy that we saw knock out Whitaker the first time? Where is that Adesanya at? I don't like this new Adesanya who just sits back and does what he needs to do to retain the belt, winning a 10-9, nothing more, nothing less. Now, this is me as a fight fan. Obviously, I'm not a professional fighter, so a lot of you guys are probably like, fuck this dude. But I'm just being real, man. If you guys are trying to be fan favorites and you want me to continue to buy your pay-per-views, you need to put on a show. I would like to see some fucking hands being thrown for a little bit. Now, Cannonier, this is me completely discrediting this man. He's a great fighter, and it's not easy to put a guy like Cannonier away. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it was just all fun and games and all easy, and Izzy could have just knocked him out at any point. He's a dangerous guy. He's the #1 contender for a reason. But at the end of the day, you know who your next fight is. You know that he's beaten you twice. You would think that you would want to put some fear in him. Now, think about it from the flip side. Alex Pereira definitely he's already has real estate in Izzy's mind. He knows that he's in Izzy's head. And then he just put a stamped statement on the #4 guy being unranked, knocking him out in the first round. That's a lot to think about as the champion. But anyway, yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys thought about the championship fight, and who are you guys taking for the Alex Pereira and Izzy Adesanya fight? Let me know. We'll see you on the next one.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an